Windsurf or one of 6 real alternatives, which one should you actually use? I went through all 6, kept a running scoreboard, and the part that got me. The tool most frustrated Windsurf users are actually switching to isn't the one you'd expect. Windsurf's quota walls and rebrand chaos have pushed people to Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, Zed, VS Code, and Devon Cloud, so let's find out which one actually fits you. Alternative 1, Cursor, the direct rival. You're on a medium to large codebase, hundreds of files, and you need the tool to just know what's relevant, without you manually tagging every file with an mention. That's the job, and Cursor requires that mention step every single time, which on a big repo means you're spending real time just telling the tool where to look. I looked at the indexing behavior and the pricing side by side. Windsurf automatically indexes millions of lines, no manual selection needed, while Cursor makes you mention files. On pricing, Cursor runs a flat $20 per seat, which is actually more predictable than Windsurf's credit-based system, where the real cost gets murky fast. On benchmark performance, Windsurf's SWE 1.5 hits 40.08% on SWE Bench Verified, and I couldn't find anything comparable published from Cursor. Cursor wins on price transparency, a flat per-seat rate versus Windsurf's credit maze, but Windsurf takes the indexing and benchmark rounds, so Windsurf goes up 1-0 on the scoreboard. I went in thinking Cursor would dominate on features, but the automatic codebase indexing on Windsurf is a real edge for anyone working across a large repo. I've burned through enough AI coding tool credits to know exactly where these quota walls bite you, so drop a comment if Windsurf's credit system has ever killed your flow mid-session. Alternative 2, Claude Code, the agent purist's pick. You've got a complex refactor spanning dozens of files, and you need the agent to reason across the whole repo, run tools, check its own work, and not just sit inside a GUI waiting for you to approve every step. That's a real job, and the question is whether a CLI-first agent actually handles it better than Windsurf's Cascade inside a full IDE. The speed gap is what got me here. Claude Code runs deep agentic sessions with top-tier model quality, and community consensus is pretty clear that it goes deeper on complex refactors than Windsurf's Cascade. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. But Windsurf's SWE 1.5 matches Claude Sonnet's accuracy at 14 times the speed, and Windsurf's fixed monthly tiers beat Claude Code's usage-based billing when you want to know your bill before the month ends. Claude Code takes agentic depth, but Windsurf holds speed and pricing predictability, so Windsurf moves to 2-0 on the board. If you want the deepest possible agent sessions and you're comfortable in a terminal, Claude Code is the real answer here, and it's the tool the most frustrated Windsurf users are actually landing on. Alternative 3, GitHub Copilot, the budget stability play. Half the monthly price is the number right there. If your team is 10 seats, that's $100 a month for Copilot versus $200 for Windsurf Pro. And with Windsurf's ownership changing twice in under a year, you're also paying a premium to ride out someone else's corporate drama. I looked at what you actually give up at that lower price. Copilot comes in at exactly half the monthly cost of Windsurf Pro, and it's backed by Microsoft with zero rebrand chaos. But that price difference buys you AI agent usage, browser previews, shareable workflows, and self-hosting options on the Windsurf side, none of which Copilot offers, so the gap in features is real, even if the gap in price is exactly 2-1. Copilot wins on price and stability, and Windsurf keeps its lead at 3-0 overall. The call is clean. If you don't need agents, browser previews, or self-hosting, Copilot is the obvious escape from Windsurf's pricing and rebrand headaches. Alternative 4, Zed, the performance purist's escape. You're mid-session on a heavy AI operation in Windsurf, and the editor starts glitching, slowing down, or just acting weird because it's running on a VS Code base that wasn't built for this load. Zed is native, no Electron overhead, no credit gating, and at $12 a month, it undercuts Windsurf Pro by $3. I ran this one twice because the performance difference is genuinely striking. Zed's native build avoids the VS Code-based glitches and slowdowns Windsurf users report during AI ops, and there's zero credit or tier gating on Zed Pro at $12 a month. The honest caveat, Windsurf's VS Code base gives it access to a vastly larger plugin marketplace, and Zed's ecosystem just can't match that breadth yet. Zed takes performance and pricing, and the scoreboard moves to 4-0 in Windsurf's favor overall. But Zed is the right call for anyone whose main complaint about Windsurf is the editor feeling sluggish or the credit system draining unexpectedly, because you get a cleaner, faster tool at $3 less per month. So far, every alternative has carved out its own lane, but the two still ahead, VS Code and Devon Cloud, are the ones that could actually change how you think about whether leaving Windsurf is even the right move, because one of them has a twist in the ownership story that nobody frustrated with the rebrands is expecting. Alternative 5, VS Code, the ecosystem anchor. You've got a workflow that depends on a specific extension, a linter, a test runner, a framework plugin, and Windsurf either doesn't support it or it's flaky because Windsurf is a fork, not the original. VS Code is free, Microsoft-backed, and runs the full marketplace without compromise. So the question is whether you actually need the AI agent baked in. Watch what happens when you compare these two on ecosystem breadth. VS Code's marketplace is universal and unmatched, and Microsoft's backing makes it the most stable editor in this whole list. The trade-off is real though. Windsurf's Cascade agent is deeply integrated, not a bolt-on extension. So if you go back to plain VS Code, you're reassembling AI capability through extensions, and that's a meaningful step backward on agentic tasks. VS Code wins on ecosystem and stability, putting the tally at 5-0 for Windsurf in the overall standings. VS Code is the right pick if extension compatibility is your actual blocker, but if you're leaving Windsurf because of quota walls and you still want a capable AI agent, plain VS Code will leave you rebuilding what you just walked away from. Alternative 6, Devon Cloud, the autonomous worker. You've got a task that's big enough that you don't want to babysit it at all. Open a PR, run the tests, QA the output, the whole loop without you touching it. Windsurf's Cascade keeps you in the driver's seat, but Devon Cloud spins up its own machine and does the job while you move on to something else, and it's included from the Pro plan. When I dug into this one, the autonomy gap was bigger than I expected. Devon Cloud opens PRs, runs tests, and QAs its own work using computer vision, which is a different category of autonomy from anything Windsurf's Cascade does inside your loop. And Windsurf 2.0 now integrates directly with Devon, so you plan locally in Windsurf and send to Devon for execution with one click, which makes this less a competitor and more an upgrade path. Devon Cloud wins on autonomy, and Windsurf's overall score closes at 6-0 across all 6 alternatives. The twist is that Windsurf is now literally Devon Desktop. Same editor, same plans. Rebranded by Cognition on June 2nd, 2026. So if you're leaving because of the rebrand chaos, you might just be staying put under a new name. So why are people actually leaving Windsurf? 3 concrete reasons. First, the quota system drains fast. We're talking 2 to 4 prompts per day on premium models, and weekly quotas gone within 2 days. Second, 3 ownership changes in under a year. Codium to Windsurf to Devon Desktop. Destroyed confidence in the product's direction. Third, at $20 plus per seat with credit gating, the cost control options are genuinely limited. Now, where Windsurf genuinely holds its ground. On medium to large codebases, the automatic indexing beats Cursor's mention system for multi-file reasoning. It's not close. Windsurf's SWE 1.5 matches Claude Sonnet's accuracy at 950 tokens per second, which is 14 times faster, so for heavy coding sessions, the speed advantage is real. And if you want a full IDE with a deep agent integration out of the box, Windsurf's Cascade is more turnkey than assembling VS Code, plus extensions. For most people leaving Windsurf, Claude Code is the default pick if you want deep agentic sessions, Cursor if you want a familiar IDE with predictable pricing, and Copilot or Zed at half the price, or close to it if stability is your only concern. But if you're leaving specifically because of the rebrand chaos, stop, because Windsurf is now Devon Desktop and the switch might just be staying put. One thing nobody's talking about, Windsurf's Pro plan quota on premium models carries both a daily cap and a weekly cap that community users report hitting within roughly 2 days of normal use. so even if you pace yourself on Monday, you can be locked out by Wednesday. The docs don't spell out that 2-day weekly burn rate anywhere obvious. If Claude Code came up as your pick, I went deep on every real alternative to it in a video called 7 Claude Code Alternatives Worth Switching To, and I ranked them the same way I ranked these, by what each one actually does better. So go check that one out next and figure out whether Claude Code is actually the right landing spot for you.